Hey guys, welcome back. It's time. We're going to take a look at another game store that no longer exists, I don't think. A lot of this information is just what I have at hand here. We don't have a lot of follow-up other than like some events, some excuses that happened earlier on. And now there's just like radio silence. I don't know what's going on here. It looks a whole lot like a game store that took a lot of pre-orders, didn't fulfill the pre-orders, and is poofy loofy. You got to be very careful when you do stuff like that. I know everyone's always looking for the deals. I've seen this website posted multiple times on the accounts that advertise every single game store, trying to look for the best price ever. People trying to save $5 Renos, and I would just highly recommend against it. It's not worth your time and effort. It's the same reason why I tell people that you probably just want to buy cards on eBay rather than the Facebook groups and stuff like that. The amount that you save is not worth the hassle. You're going to run into a bunch of people that are amateur wiener babies to the extreme. You're going to get every now and then get scammed. I mean, you can if you're going to do it, if you're going to go into the deep depths of the wiener market, you need to use payment methods that provide you protection. I know usually they cost a little bit more money, but that's just what it comes down to. You gotta be running your goods and services, unless it's somebody that you know that's a friend or a family. You shouldn't be taking the friends or family payments. You shouldn't be doing the Venmos, all the Cash Apps, all that stuff like that. If you're in Canada, the email, the e-transfers. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Unless it's like an amount of money that you don't care if you lose it. But chances are, if you're in the weeds that are the random game store sites that you're just trying to get the $5 off, the seller that's not making anything on their boxes, you're gonna run into this eventually. It's sad. Well, also the fact that like don't, please, for the love of God, don't pre-order something like 3 months in advance. Just never do it. Don't ever do it, ever. First of all, you should be shopping at psapikachu.com. Yes, I am biased in recommending that, but you're going to receive exactly what you pre-order. And it's a good idea to pre-order. You don't have to pre-order until the pre-orders are running out, until pretty close to the date. He doesn't add his pre-orders. He doesn't make them available until he has the actual allocation numbers. So you're not going to have stuff that he gets cut on his allocation. And voila, your pre-order is gone. So you can wait until the pre-orders are available, and usually a couple weeks beforehand is a good time to do so. If you're in the Discord, if you're following any of my accounts ever at any point, I usually try to provide updates when the pre-orders are running a little bit low. And yes, even in 2023, we gotta look into issues with. I don't know, the pre-orders. Everyone's trying to get the free orders in with stuff that they don't even know how many boxes they're going to be able to get. So you're playing with fire at that point. And not only that, when like for example, the new sets that are coming out that are barely just announced, and yes, other than the Pokemon Center, it was going to probably know how many they're going to receive. I can't imagine they're going to cancel pre-orders on there. But everyone else does not have actual numbers on how many boxes they have. They're just trying to get in on the hype, trying to sell you some boxes that you shouldn't even be paying for months in advance. The Pokemon Center, for that reason, they don't take your money until they ship the item, which is good. But at the same time, game stores, I can understand. So here we are, tallgrasscards.com. And yes, I've seen people advertise it. I've seen people say, look at the sweet deals on their stuff. And I'm not necessarily going to blame anyone for recommending them for their dealios. But I will tell you guys that this is just another one of those things that you're wasting your time with. If you go with a PSA Pikachu, if you're in the US, you know that you're going to get your box. You know it's going to be in good shape. You know it's going to be packed properly. Is it going to be the best price? No, probably not. But it's also not going to show up in a bubble mailer. It's not going to be resealed. You're going to make, if you pre-order it, you know you're getting it because the pre-order is your pre-order. That box is allocated. He's getting that box. You're getting that box. That's how it works. Dozecards.ca. If you're in Canada, there's no code on PSA Pikachu, but on Doze you can use Rattle 5 for 5% off. And yes, very, very much back those stores, affiliated with those stores. But at the same time, they're proven, and I wouldn't just take a random website. Even if they wanted to pay me something, I wouldn't take a random website that I don't fully trust and know. So that's just it. All right, so website here has Pooferine out. We got a Reddit thread to look through. We got some Twitter posts. We got to use the Wayback Machine here. We're going to take a look at what the website looked like before it poofed. Yes, in this day and age, we've seen it several times already. We've seen it several times already on the channel where a game store, online game store, physical game store, whatever, they take pre-orders and then they're gone. They are absolutely gone. So if you're gonna take the Wild West approach, you're gonna try to save your $5 on your booster box. Then you got to get the sweetest deals. Then you're probably gonna run into headaches. And if you think it's worth your time, you need to be using a payment method, whether it's a credit card or PayPal. Some method that you can actually retrieve your funds if they decide to just not ship the pre-order. So whether they don't have enough pre-orders, whether like in this case where they just kind of disappear into oblivion, you need to have a payment method and you need to be ready to spend and waste. You need to waste some time. You're going to waste some time here. Anyone that pre-ordered any of this stuff that hasn't received it, it does look like you're never getting it. And again, I can't say that for sure. We don't know. Their website is gone. They made a bunch of excuses that really don't make a whole lot of sense that we're going to take a look at here, but that's the gist of it. You're to save a little bit of money. You got headaches. You got headaches ahead of you, and this is what's going on here. So we got pre-orders galore. This is what the website looked like. This was back on January 17th, 2023. This is the last screenshot, the last I guess point in time where we have a view of what the site looked like. That's the main page, and I guess it existed after this because they were we're seeing some complaints that they were taking Scarlett and Violet base pre-orders. I don't know exactly what date, how early they were doing so, but yeah. All right, Tallgrass. The branding is all over the place on this stuff. So I'm pretty sure I tracked down the vast majority. It looks like the Twitter is the only thing. I guess the Reddit as well still exists. But here we go. We got the link for Tallgrass Gaming. We got some followers here. And here we got one of two. We got here's the excuse. This was back in January 17th. Which I guess kind of lines up with when the screenshot happened. So I don't know if that's when they wiped the website, took down the website. I'm not sure if it was up after that. And if anyone has any additional information on this, if you were affected by this, please let me know what's going on. If you were in contact with them, it doesn't seem like anyone has been able to. But here we have, this is the excuse. This is why I guess everything's happening here. They say, we were recently attacked by a Discord group that attempted to hack into our Google account and ended up shutting down all of our social media during the month of December. We have just now recovered everything. More info here. So they did recover everything, but then also now they're gone altogether. It's weird. We're going to read through the entire thing. It's going to be painful, but we're doing it. And 2 of 2 here. We are currently shipping out Wave 2 Charizard UPCs that arrived last week, as well as Crown Zenith that releases on Friday. If you have any outstanding issues with an order, please DM so we can look into it. Apologies for anyone affected by this. So it seems like they got everything back up and running if they were selling Scarlett and Violet pre-orders. Scarlett and Violet base, but they never sent them out. But now, okay. Anyway, the link that they have here, the tallgrasscards.com, we can Wayback Machine that bad boy right here. Wait, I think we have it in this tab. There we go. Here it is. Here it is. The December 2022 problem. So you're taking orders after the problems. I guess this was on January 16th that they posted this. But the problems were in 2022, and now they're behind them. The problems are no longer problems. I guess. All right, we got a speed read here. Back in late November, we were the victim of an attempted hacking of our Google account, courtesy of a small group of people from a Discord server. While they were unable to access the account and thus no customer data was affected, it did trigger a lockdown of our Google account. At the same time, said individuals placed multiple fraudulent orders via our store that resulted in our Shopify account also being frozen. I'm not buying any of this. I'm really not. I'm welcome to have my mind changed here if I can see some information on any of that, but I'm not buying it. The results of this were as follows. We no longer had access to our email account, which was hosted by Google. We no longer had access to any of our social media accounts, Twitter, Discord, etc., as we had SMS 2FA for those accounts, which was tied to our Google FI number, which was also frozen alongside our Google account. We no longer had access to our Shopify account, as the two-factor authentication was also tied to our disabled Google FI number. This meant we were unable to access any orders or customer information at all during this time. Here's where we made a few mistakes. So, clearly they got this back up, but maybe they'll say that here. Here's where we made a few mistakes. First, we assumed that Google would be quick to unlock our account. They were not. We just got it back on Friday the 13th of January. Secondly, we had all our accounts tied to a single form of authentication, our Google FI number, and this turned out to be a huge mistake. We never thought our Google account would get locked, nor that our Google FI number would get disconnected because of it. Third, and most importantly, we simply did not think people would be contacting us about our orders to begin with. We had a total of 5 unfulfilled orders at the end of November and expected those customers to simply open chargebacks for them, as there was no way for us to fulfill the orders, even view the order/customer information at the time. And as our remaining orders were for products that had not released yet, and our store was frozen, preventing new orders, we had planned on everything being sorted out by the time those orders were ready to be fulfilled. In hindsight, this was not correct choice, but that decision was made with the information we had at the time. One thing that we did not account for was how vocal these few people would be in other communities. What was originally only half a dozen unfulfilled orders quickly turned into over 60 additional chargebacks from people canceling Crown Zenith orders at the recommendation of other social media communities that had started claiming we were out of business. Essentially, 1 or 2 people mentioned not receiving an order yet, which caused more people to send emails or DMs asking about their upcoming pre-orders. Once they received no response, since we did not have access to email, they in turn complained about not receiving a response, and it seems to have snowballed out of control from there. The end result is that we missed fulfillment on half a dozen orders, but ended up with more than 10 times as many people trying to cancel Crown Zenith orders because of it, and many of those people not getting responses to their emails, thus continuing the cycle. So, what is the outcome of all this? First and foremost, we are no longer using SMS for our 2FA, and we have instead switched to an Authenticator app. This way, all of our accounts are not tied to our Google account, and if someone should, God forbid, happen again in the future, we will not lose access to anything. We will also be opening up a separate public phone number for support, so our customers have an additional way to contact us should they need to. In addition, we are making some changes to our storefront to prevent first-time customers from purchasing certain items, as nearly all of the problematic pre-orders from the first-time customers that found us through Discord or Twitter. This should ensure that more product is available for existing/long-term customers, while also drastically reducing the amount of canceled orders we have, which was skyrocketed since we started using Discord and Twitter. I didn't see their Discord. Maybe it's on there somewhere. For those of you with outstanding Charizard UPC orders, we just received our supply last week and we'll be shipping those out to you this week. We will also be receiving our Crown Zenith orders later this week, and those should be shipping out ASAP as well. For those of you that have opened chargeback for their upcoming pre-orders, we will not be banning anyone from future purchases due to the circumstances surrounding these cancellations and chargebacks. We understand that it was a messy situation for everyone involved, that we could have done things to handle it better, and that most of you were basing your decisions off the only information you had available at the time. In no way was any of this your fault. We once again have access to our email and Discord accounts. Okay, so they got them back. So please contact us with any further questions. We may be slow to respond on account of us still dealing with a few issues behind the scenes, but we should be able to reply to everyone within the next 2 to 3 days at most. Lastly, we apologize for the people that were affected by this. In hindsight, we should have found some way to get in touch with people that had concerns, but everything looked normal from our end as we were waiting for our accounts to be unfrozen, and we had no idea about the rumors being spread on social media at the time. It's certainly a hard lesson learned for us, and in the future, we will make sure that at least one line of communication is available at all times, regardless of any circumstances. I didn't see that. I don't know if that exists. And big thank you to the people that have sent us messages simply checking to make sure we're okay. Okay, all right. My camera being funky? Am I getting out of focus here? All right, let's fix that. I don't know why. No, it's fine. Weird. All right, camera's doing weird things. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned. But yeah. And then so everything should be solved here, right? We had December problems. January's new. January's fine. They say the email account and all that, but at the same time we have stuff from December here, 2022. Provided that this is the same TCG player account, Tallgrass, where they have order never came, kind of complaints towards the end here, and it looks like they kind of just fell off and stopped selling. So is this a sign? And then also the Scarlett and Violet. They say Scarlett and Violet cards available January 6th. So this is the account. They also had Reddit. They haven't replied to the Reddit thread about them, which was posted months ago. So did they lose the email that was associated with the Reddit account as well? But they got it back, but they still aren't communicating anything to anyone. It's weird. It's like they just full bailed. Whether or not that was because they ran into issues in the past, I don't know. I don't care. This is just kind of a heads up, a warning to people that like this is the headache that you can potentially get yourself in when you're trying to snipe off the best price from any website, wherever, whoever. You're gonna run into issues when you're constantly shopping around for the cheapest Shopify Pokemon flip zone. All right, so now we have 2 months ago, we have Flounder with a 1 who says, anyone else having issues with Tallgrass Cards not fulfilling an order and not answering their emails? So that was 2 months ago. That's in March 2023. They got their email back. They got their website back. They got the Shopify back, I guess, at this point, because we got Crown Zenith, and I think somebody else here says that they actually pre-ordered Scarlett and Violet product, but didn't get anything 2 months ago. So I don't, man, it just looks a whole lot like a Shopify. It's that website that gets in over their head. Maybe they took too many pre-orders. Maybe they spent the money on something else. Maybe they were chasing. Maybe they're chasing the lowest dollar value. They burn themselves, and then they end up just disappearing. They got to disappear. There's no way that they're going to fulfill the orders. There's no way that they're going to get everything out to everyone. It's a mess. I don't know the exact inner workings of what happened when they crapped their pants and turned everything off, but it's sure looking like it. Man, be careful with pre-orders, guys. Be careful shopping with anyone and everyone that you see a social media post about. Do your research, try them out, maybe buy something that they have in stock. Look for recommendations, everything else. It's not hard to make a Shopify site. I think in the US, it's probably not too hard to get access to a distributor to sell this stuff. In Canada, it's a little bit more difficult. Usually they require that you have a brick and mortar store, at least after the pandemic craziness that was going on. Here we have Hey Arnold 69. Jesus. Dang, that is so unfortunate, unprofessional, unethical. I pre-ordered some Scarlett and buy the product from them also. I haven't received any info on shipping yet, but the set just released yesterday, so I'll probably wait for any shipping updates within the next week. Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, don't expect them to necessarily, if they have a ton of orders, if they get overwhelmed, depending on when they get their stuff, they might not be able to get it out on that exact Friday that the set comes out. The whole setup on for stores trying to get stuff out and receiving stuff from distributors is just an absolute mess. You got some people that receive it way too early, that are selling it on the whatnots and all that crap, and then other stores are kind of punished in a way that are actually following street date. You got big box stores that are putting that crap out whenever the hell they feel like it. Usually like up to a week in advance for the most part, but sometimes they oopsie doopsie recently with Target and stuff like that, where they're putting it out like a month in advance. It's a disaster. It's a disaster out there. We have Serene Frost who says, I emailed them yesterday about my Scarlett and Violet pre-order. Haven't heard anything back yet. I'm going to give them a week to respond before I issue a chargeback. They don't just get to keep $150 of my money for no reason. Good thing I paid through PayPal. True. PayPal, credit card and PayPal, I guess, is probably the safest way to do it. Just in case something like this happens. If they're going to poof, if their website's gone, if they don't make any statement about it and they have your money for whatever the product, yeah, you probably gotta, that's chargeback land is pretty much what that's going through. And then here, how far, I wish it would just show the dates instead of saying 2 months ago. Oh, there we go. Yeah, April 7th, April 4th. So they waited a few days. Haven't heard anything yet. That's the thing too. You probably just, the customers need to be able to get in touch with you. But also like if something like, if your website goes down, I mean, it's at the point that it's been down for quite a while, now from what it looks like. You need to be able to like, hey guys, here, it's free to make an Instagram account. It's free to make a Twitter account. You can update people on there. Just be like, hey, maintenance, whatever. I think on the website itself, it says like, please bear with us as we redesign our website. So like, that's usually there's usually some kind of stuff like that going on. But regardless, I think this is just as important to, I know there's a lot of people that like to waste money, that go to Walmart and Target and stuff like that, and they buy products that are overpriced instead of supporting an honest and awesome small business. But then you have people that are shopping around here. You get like a different group of people that are shopping around for the $5 less than everywhere else kind of deals. Yeah, just know what you're getting yourself into. That's it. That's all I got for you today, guys. Hopefully this is another learning lesson for anyone that hasn't seen the previous videos on similar situations with pop-up game stores that are online, Shopify specials that may or may not disappear. Be careful with your money. You got to keep an eye on it too. You're saving that $5, but you got to make sure that you're keeping an eye on it. You don't just forget about it, and you never get that charge back, because the longer you wait, the more difficult it becomes. And man, if it gets into like credit card chargeback territory, I don't envy that. I never want to get into that kind of area. But just know, even if it's somewhere you trust, make sure you're paying with a method that's going to protect you. That's it. That's all. Join the Discord. See you guys next time. Bye.